always challenging, these regions are pretty parochial, and the men farm the vineyards, and they planted the vineyards, and they have their like growing groups, which can kind of be like a sewing circle type of vibe, and be quite gatekeepery, maybe not the most welcoming place. So yeah, trying to establish yourself as someone who has been around the world, worked in many regions, and has a lot of insights, also a lot of questions and curiosities, and also opinions that come with having, spent time in several different growing regions, and then seeing, less than imaginative or less than innovative approach to some of the farming practices, or grape growing conditions, or a lack of interest in continuing to move a region forward. I think also has developed a lot more as the regions grow, and as we see more women entering into viticulture, and more women entering into winemaking as well, more female masters of wine, more female master sommeliers. In the Master of Wine program, we're nearly, I think, at a quarter, or coming just above a quarter of the certification being women. Every year, when people are becoming new masters of wine, every year it's getting more and more dominated by women. So that's a positive, sign. I think women tend to be more curious a lot of the time, and ask a lot different questions. And I think we ask questions about maybe more the cultural terroir that comes into creation of wine, and the importance of a community and culture in the wine industry as well, and how those roles and approaches will shape a region and a wine style as well. I think because women have, traditionally spent a lot of time cooking and in gardens and growing things as well. I think we look at the whole ecosystem, and we're very interested in, how the fruit was being farmed, and, what type of products were being sprayed in the vineyard, and, what was the, health qualities of the product, what pesticides or fungicides were going into the product, how was that impacting, the style, but also the people who work in the vineyard. Were there any, detriments to having these sprays, in the wines or in the cellar? Do they stay in the wines? So I think there's a lot more transparency that women want, and a little bit more maybe accountability as well. Refreshing to see lately in the US wine regions that the executive directors of the wine regions are women, and really shining a focus on sustainability practices, and making that a really important conversation within the region itself, and why sustainability is important to consider, and not just economic sustainability, but community sustainability, environmental sustainability, life cycle of the industry sustainability. And so I do think that men can bring a more holistic approach to wine. More women coming into these education programs. Certainly women are great communicators. So I think we see a lot of, hospitality and travel and leisure, and food and wine stories come through a woman's lens, and making wine to the palate that appeals to women. If they're, making the food in the kitchen, or cooking, or, making the choices for the family in terms of what flavors and what freshness level, or how much fresh food is being put on the table, where does wine fall into that? The wines need to be a little bit reflective of the fresh produce and the flavor profile approach that comes with what you're, cooking in the kitchen and putting on the table, and, just what you're trying to nourish your body with. I think all comes into play.